All right, welcome to your chapter 4. So this is the fifth video on your chapter 4. On the last video, we had done this page, right? So let me see what happened. So these were the answers. If you haven't seen it, go back and look at number 4 in this series. So this is the question that I had. Oops. The question I had was like this. All right. So I had to figure out what the other 5 trig functions are, which is the cosine, tangent, and so on. All right, so this one they gave you a tangent. So the idea is to do the same thing, all right? You're gonna find the other 5 functions on this information that's given to you, okay? So we'll see how that goes. So first things first, I read this, I go, it's gonna be in the 3rd quadrant. So I'm gonna assess that first, all right, put that in play. So I'll draw my triangle in the 3rd quadrant. So first quadrant, for those of you guys that need a review on this stuff, I was gonna say a bad word, but okay, there you go. So 3rd quadrant is right here. Put the theta there. I have a student named Gerard, so just to give him props on this. He taught me some sign language. He's pretty good in sign, so I can sign the word I was going to say earlier, but I'll skip that. Anyways, so that's what I got. All right, so we're going to delete this here. So my 3rd quadrant is in play. Now this here, just like the last question, the last example, they have their own meaning. 7 is a number on this triangle. So this is going to be sine over cosine, or opposite over adjacent. So that's my OPP. Or you can say that's your y over the x. So all of these are the same thing. You can just translate them straight on through. So your y is 7. Is 7, but it's the y. Now you guys say, wait a minute, mister, that's supposed to be a negative. Okay, hang on, relax. So now this is your cosine. All right, cosine is the x, so it's 8. So now if it sits in the 3rd quadrant, both of these were negative because you went -8, -7. But if you put, or when you put -7 on top of your -8, your negative cancels out. So you don't see a negative here at all. And that's the reason why it disappears, because they divide off. Okay, so pay attention to that. So we got that going on. Now what is left for us to do before we start naming all these other 5 functions? Then we need to just look at, well, what's missing? This length is missing. So just leave it there with the negatives, okay? Because when you divide them out, it's going to be positive. Don't erase the negative here. So now you're going to go -7 squared, which is now, it's going to be positive 49. And then you got -8 squared. That's positive 64. And then that should equal c squared. So you add these 2 guys. Looks like 100 and something. 105. Don't trust myself on that. Come on. Some of you guys like Mr. S. That's for my students. They know me. All right. That's what my calculator is for. See, I said 105. All right, so it's 113. Square root that. I don't know where I got my 105. I'm not thinking. So that's square root of 113. Now, is it positive and negative? No. The radius or the slant side, hypotenuse, is always positive. So you just put root 113, I'm sorry. Got it? Okay, so once that's done, the rest is just naming the sides on top of each other, okay? So for example, sine of that angle theta would be the opposite of this angle. There's your -7. Now this time you call -7 over your radius or hypotenuse. That's root of 113. Now, you're going to say, well, can we keep the square root in the bottom? No, you don't. You just have to multiply root 113 down here on top. So that should be negative 7 113 root over just regular 113. It looks strange, but don't worry about it. Just leave it. Moving on. Cosine, so it's about the same. Negative 8 on top of root of 113. Can't keep the root, so you multiply root 113 in the bottom and the top. So the top will pick up that root of 113. The bottom, the root drops out. That 113 is by itself. And so on, okay? You can write cosecant, tangent, and so on based on this. Tangent is given to you already, so cotangent is the flip. Now the tangent, you're gonna put the 7, negative, on top of negative 8. It's just your negatives canceling out. That's why you have that, okay? Adios. I'll see you in class.